What is going on, everybody? Welcome to High School Never Ends, a pop punk dad podcast. I am Wingman Steve.
And I am Chris, one awful three.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, we are back here with another episode in Awful April. This is the third Awful album that we're going to be discussing, or, you know, hypothetically, it's an awful album. And Chris, I don't know about you, but I'm a little exhausted, man. Listening to bad albums is just, it's difficult. It's draining.
I feel like this one's giving me energy. I feel like we're just getting into our groove with this. So I'm all about it, Steve.
You like just driving around listening to bad albums?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, this is the month for you in that case. And this week on the show, we are going to talk about Saves the Day and their record from 2003, a great year for music. Not this one so much. It's called In Reverie. And a little behind the scenes fact, you know, we came up with Awful April, came up with a couple of albums we were going to do. And then when we announced it, we said, you know, what's an album that you think is awful that we should talk about? And the first person that said this album is going to be our guest today. And the moment I saw it, I said, holy shit, I totally forgot. This needs to be covered. And that person is the king of hate himself, Stephen Reed Kelly. Thank you so much for joining us.
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me. Professional hater back on the scene.
Professional hater. We do not hate. His band Port Maria just came out with a new record, which we are not hating on. But what made you suggest In Reverie, like, first off the bat?
Oh, man. I was a huge Saves the Day fan, and I feel like this was a record I was really looking forward to. Loved Through Being Cool, loved Stay What You Are, and I feel like this came out right in those formative, like, college years. So it had all of the hallmarks of being like a home run for me, and I think I maybe gave it one listen and was like, never again until now.
And that's the cool thing about Awful April, is that we give ourselves the chance to potentially turn it around. And Chris 183, you and I did full album spotlights on both Through Being Cool and Stay What You Are. I think we both give those some high regard. Chris, do you remember this album at all?
I don't remember this album whatsoever. And I think there's a reason for that. It's because I didn't listen to it.
So after Stay What You Are, which you liked so much, you didn't want to see what came out next?
Not necessarily, you know, like me, I just kind of jump around to other things. And for whatever reason, I lost touch with this band. And based on what we're listening to today, would you say that I probably made educated choice or a good choice?
Whether it was luck or intention, I would say that you probably did the right thing. This was obviously chosen as an Awful April spotlight for a reason. And it's funny, you know, I've notoriously spoken about that horrible festival that was supposed to be on my birthday last year in New Jersey. And one of the bands that was playing that before it got canceled was Saves the Day. And they were going to do In Reverie in its entirety to celebrate its 20-year anniversary. And I was like, oh man, like, I don't know if I can even listen to it because I don't want to see that. I've seen them do Through Being Cool in its entirety. That's fine. But I don't know that I could listen to, even though it's short. I'd say that's the best thing about this album is that it's short. At least it's over pretty quickly. But luckily the Bamboozle fell apart and is dead, and we all hate them. So didn't happen.
Sure. Do you think, though, that if you would have saw it live, it would have changed your mind? That's the question. I know we can't answer that question because you didn't do it. But sometimes you hear a song live that they didn't necessarily like on a studio album, and it sounds completely different and you get into it. So I just wonder.
I guess it's possible that one or two of these tracks, maybe I would have, you know, caught a groove in, but I don't, you know, the entire thing played front to back. I didn't even want to listen to it in my car or my house that here. Live, I guess you never know. I could have had several alcoholic beverages to ease my pain before that. But this is really an interesting record because I don't personally know any live human beings that have told me, like, I think this album is awesome. But when you go and look at, like, review sites and the internet, like, there's actually a lot of praise for this record. It's more harmonically intricate. It's more complicated melodically. A lot of people seem to think, oh, they're doing something different, but it's really good. Do you guys, Steve, do you know anybody that likes this album?
Yeah, I do. And I think that a lot of it has to do with when you discovered Saves the Day. Like, if the first thing you ever heard from this band was Stay Where You Are, this does not seem like that far of a stretch. Um, it seems like there's quite a bit of growth from the songwriting perspective of like the what they are doing with chords is pretty interesting here. Um, and we'll talk more about like the problems I have with this record and we all have with this record. But uh, yeah, I mean, this was a major label release for them. This came out on DreamWorks, I think. Um, Huge follow up. Like this was the band kind of at the peak of popularity. I think as a follow up to Stay Where You Are, if you came in on that floor first days of the day, like this probably isn't grossly offensive to you. And I think I'm interested to hear what people say when like we're digging in on this album on High School Never Ends. I do wonder if there's a lot of listeners out there who like are going to have mixed feelings about this being in Awful April.
I'm sure there's people out there that this is their favorite album of all time, and we'll have a lot to say. But I'll tell you what, like I'm not going to necessarily come at it from a scientific standpoint. Maybe not so much as you will, Steve. But I'll tell you what, you said the term what melodically intricate. Is that the term you used there?
I think it works. Yeah.
I think that's another way of saying like absence of melody or getting to overthinking something so much that it doesn't sound like a good song anymore. I think they did a lot of that on here. They took what could be something that might be a good song and they just engineered it to the point where I didn't even care about what I was listening to anymore. So, but you're right. People did like this. I'm looking at the reviews right now and just kind of going down the list. You know, Entertainment Weekly gave it an A-. Metacritic gave it a 77 out of 100. That's a solid C+, right? That's a pretty good score.
Yeah. If you look on like it's like Amazon or something like that, like where people buy like the physical disc, there's like all these good reviews. If you look at like the lyric sites, there are people that talk about how great it is. I just no, thank you.
I wish I could go back and read what what Absolute Punk said about it back in the day. Site is long since gone, but just for retrospect, like to go back and read those reviews, it'd be interesting to see where they landed on it.
I'd be curious. And Steve, you actually pointed something out that I found curious on our text message interaction, how you compared us doing this one and what I thought about Pretty Odd. Did you want to elaborate on that? You kind of saw some similarities?
I can't totally remember. Can you jot my memory?
You basically said that when a band gets obsessed with the Beatles and then they try and do a Beatles-esque record, it usually doesn't pan out.
I don't know if that's what was going on here. I do think that definitely happened with Panic at the Disco. That album, very, very odd. This one, in my mind, generally, I mean, if we're just gonna jump in on some of the things that are strange about the time for this album to come out of this band. Like they lost a main guitar player and replaced it with Chris Connolly. They lost the drummer. They replaced it with a guy from Face to Face. That didn't strike me as different, like super noticeable in this. Same bass player, Eben, who I think is incredible. Same producer that did Stay What You Are. But I think the main problem I have with this album is Chris. I don't think he's a good guitar player on this album, and his voice changed completely on this record. Like it's so different. And in my mind, I think that is what killed this record for me.
So it's funny you brought up Amazon, Wingman Steve, because there are some people on here that had some things to say, and I'll pull out just one or two here. So this one is a 1-star review, and this person says, "No, what happened to Saves the Day? If you're a Weezer fan, purchase this CD. I, however, consider Weezer to be the bane of my existence, so it is unfortunate that In Reverie sounds so Weezer-esque."
Signed, Wingman Steve.
Would I blah, blah, blah. This goes on for like 7 paragraphs. Never mind. Disappointed. First things first, I'm a huge fan of Saves the Day previous work. I own all their CDs. Da 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 da. Now I'm not trying to discourage a band from growing up or developing its full potential. And I don't want them to artificially recreate the sound and energy and emotion that was there before either. I think, however, that maybe there was a lot of room for innovation in the subject matter that the band tackled in the 4th album. Words, boring. Okay, so nothing really good here. I probably could have done a better job going through this earlier, but there's actually like 248 ratings here. 77% of them are 5-star. Only 2% of them are 1-star. So a lot of people love this.
That's what I'm saying. Really, it was surprising.
Yeah. On Amazon.
On Amazon, of course. That's where, premier music critics go to voice their opinion.
Make one personal point on it's funny that person said Weezer. When I was listening to this album, I kind of hear what they're talking about. So to me, this album is almost like a Pinkerton type album, but just not as good. Like if you take Pinkerton and strip out all the good melodies and well put together songs and stuff you want to listen to over and over again, then you get in Reverie.
This is the leftover. This is just the leftover Pink.
It really is.
Chris, you know how Weezer, I don't know if this drove you nuts, but on the Green album, like every guitar solo was just the vocal melody, like on a guitar. That was like their thing on the Green album, I feel like.
Yeah.
I something that drives me crazy on this album is the way that like during the verses, and we'll kind of go song by song, I'm sure, and touch on some of this stuff, but like you'll notice his voice and the vocal cords are lockstep, and the contour of like the chord change and his vocal notes are exactly the same. It's just like, oh, there's something about that seems kind of, I hesitate to call it lazy, but like it doesn't sound cool to my ears.
I don't think anything in this album sounded cool. I will say, out of Awful April, we are on week number 3, and this is the first time where I don't know that I could find one track that I would say this song is pretty good. I really don't think there's one on this whole thing, and we'll get through it, and we'll go through it one by one. Some quick hits, some quick facts. The album came out September 16th in 2003. Yep, that was the heyday for the pop punk and emo. Again, it was their 4th studio album. It was released on DreamWorks. It was produced by Rob Schnapf. Steve, you mentioned he produced Stay What You Are. Surprisingly, with no video or radio play, really, it got to number 27 on the Billboard 200, and it sold over 150,000 copies. So that probably just speaks to the Saves the Day fandom, and they were pretty big road warriors earlier in their career, so not just the Northeast, but I think all over the place. So that's kind of the basics. Anything else general-wise before we get into it?
Well, an interesting fact is you said 150,000 albums were sold. Yeah, it's interesting that 97,000 of those albums were bought by American Eagle retail stores, and they played this album in there.
Do you think that this could be played in those stores?
It's probably, yeah. If you go back to 2004, this is what you hear in the background while you're changing in the changing room. Did you change in the changing room when you went to stores?
I don't usually try on clothes a lot, but I wouldn't say that I never do.
Okay.
So maybe, but I don't think that.
Cool.
I don't know if they would pick this one up.
I was just curious.
Unless they were paid.
I read on Wikipedia that the label basically told them like, we're done promoting this after like 3 weeks, and they wished that they had wrote a different album, and I felt that at the time. I know that I did.
I think there was also a lot of like label like flux. Didn't they get dropped off? So I think this DreamWorks took over for another, or was absorbed, whatever the last one was.
Interscope picked them up.
There you go. But there was a lot of like turmoil, and then the band got dropped, and a lot of bands got dropped. So
yeah.
But aren't they like involved in? They just say, "Hey guys, go make an album, and we're not going to listen to anything you have to say." They're going to hold their ears. Like, I can't wait till they're done so I can hear what they have. Is that the way it goes?
I don't know, but I think that Stay What You Are came out on Vagrant, and then I think that got them the DreamWorks deal. So they pretty much, I mean, signed up with DreamWorks. They said we'll go back to the same producer, I'm sure. And I'm sure that DreamWorks expected similar magic as that album, and what they got was so different, so different. This sounds so not the same as Stay What You Are.
Yeah, and I think that's again, that's a theme on Awful April, is that we're not just picking random one-off albums, but they're by bands that we liked. They put out good stuff, at least one or two records before, and then all of a sudden we were let down. So that's what's happened the first 2 weeks, and I guess that's where we are here. You want to get started?
Yeah,
we'll get started anywhere with you, and I'll just kick this one off here. To me, and Chris, you took the thunder with that comment. This sounds to me like wannabe Weezer. It really does. I think that Steve mentioned Chris's voice. It just sounds so weird. I read that, so like he always had a high pitched voice, and that was fine. I read that like before this, he was straining to hit those high notes, and he's just like decided that he was going to start singing more naturally. So he's not like straining. Yeah, like the song at least is like a rock type of song, but to me, the lyrics are just like they're uninspired. There's nothing like strange and like that's what I loved about Stay What You Are, is the crazy weird like things that he would come up with in his head and comparing the body parts and the funerals and all that. And this just seemed like a Weezer jam fest that wasn't close to as good as Weezer. So I thought this number one was just blah.
I kind of feel like you're using Weezer in a negative connotation there. I just get that feeling.
No, I was nothing but complimentary.
I don't know. I get another. I feel like you're not being 100% truthful when you say that, but that's okay. That's okay. You do you. It's funny you said weird, because that was my first comment here. It's kind of weird. It is weird, and it's not weird in a good way. I think the riff isn't necessarily bad on this track. It's kind of alt rockish, so great, awesome, right? It's fine. It kind of stuck out to me, but tell you what, like I'm not into this melody at all. I told you guys, like the melodies on this album for the most part were just not there, and I need something. I need something to like to make me feel like I want to listen to this song again, and there is nothing that makes me want to listen to this song again. Everything just doesn't seem to match up. It just seems like a mishmash of different things going on, and they don't match up at all. And it leads me to feel like I'm just listening to a bunch of stuff happening that has a pretty decent riff in the background. So ultimately, again, I think this one's a little bit of a mess.
Steven?
I'm smiling because before we got into this, I had to write down my favorite songs, because I know at the end of this we go through our least favorite. I don't want to, but
spoiler alert. Okay.
Yeah, spoiler alert. I've been around. I listen to the pod. This is my favorite song on or like one of my favorite songs on the album. So we're coming out on a high note. But here's my breakdown of this one. And I'm going to do this a lot over the course of the next 45 minutes. What I hear him, and I'm presuming this is Chris playing the rhythm guitar. We lost Ted Alexander. Now we have Chris. He's playing guitar. He is not as good at guitar. And what you can hear him doing is all of the notes are downstrokes with a pick. There is no like up. There's no syncopation to the riff. It's just da 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 da. And he does it throughout the entire album, and it sucks. Like, it's just, compared to what they used to sound like, this is not the same band anymore. Like, their rhythm section has taken a huge hit because he can't really play interesting guitar lines. And so like, that's what I got from this song. And what I'll continue to say as we like go through the album is like, the rhythm guitar playing is not good. Other albums feels like they're played with like a looser wrist. You kind of get the up and down. There's a little bit more like action. And with this, it's just really stiff. Everything is rigid.
As in the writing of the songs, not just the playing of them. So if there was a better guitarist writing with them, writing these lead parts, maybe these could have sounded better.
Yeah, totally. And I do think like Chris is probably the main songwriter here. Some of the chords he's doing are really interesting, but like the general riff here, I think is it could be cool. Those are cool chord changes, but the way it's played sounds so bland. And that's kind of what bums me out about this song. I don't hate this song though. Like the chorus is okay. It's just a little bit like mid tempo. It's not that exciting. There's nothing action wise happening with the rhythm. It's just kind of like here, and that's what I don't like about it.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly the way you want to start off an album, isn't it? Just kind of here.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
That's okay though. I appreciate your opinion, and I'm glad you like it. I'll tell you what. Like, I have a couple songs in here that I might be pretty positive on. So you never know. But that said, anything else on Anywhere with You before we move on to it's LOL? Definitely. What went wrong? Is this
The whole album.
is the next one here, ladies and gentlemen? So no, I didn't make that up. This one is interesting. I have written down that to me, like, and I thought about this for a minute. Kind of feels like 50s like doo-wop meets alternative. I don't know. I kind of got that out of like what I was listening to. I'm not sure what he's talking about when you kind of look at the lyrics and what he's kind of singing. I know he obviously skews to the weird when it comes to what he likes to sing about in his songs, but he really talks a lot about being strip searched in this one, and I don't understand why. Maybe you guys can clear that up for me. I feel like this one definitely is better than the first. It's not bad. And I do feel like this one potentially could grow on me with time because I actually got some semblance of enjoyment out of the music here, but definitely not a banger by any stretch of the imagination. So, what about you guys?
This one's in 6/8, and it kind of makes me just like nod my head back and forth like this, and apologize to everybody who's listening to this. But like it's a little bit of like a hypnotic, but everything is on the 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3, and that gets a little bit annoying. He does that a lot on this album, but uh here just because of the cadence, it's like I don't know. I I think the chorus is cool. Again, they're doing some cool stuff melodically. Chris's voice is really whack in this song.
Yeah, the chorus is not cool. It's only 3 lines. The last song chorus is only 3 lines. Like I want a little more content. I want a little more oomph in my chorus. The the only I think saving grace, and this is somewhat of a compliment, is the beginning of the song gives me a little bit of like Rufio One Slow Dance vibes. It sounds very much like the opening to One Slow Dance.
Oh, dude, it's totally
Yeah. And I like that Rufio song. Simple chorus, simple chorus, and the lyrics in this one are just. I mean, we're going from At Your Funeral telling this like epic tale, and now we're talking about getting fucking strip searched. What the fuck are we talking about? The ghost gave him a foot massage. Walter wore women's clothes. Like, what are we talking about here? And I think that the song is about them, like, I guess, getting in trouble for something, but for some reason he doesn't even remember what they did. I just don't fucking get it. I think this song is very, very dumb and not very good. I could sway my head to it like Steve Kelly did here on the Zoom call, but I don't think that I actually would enjoy this. So I pass.
Do you think that you could waltz to the song with your significant other, or
potentially? Yeah, I think probably because of the time signature. You probably could, but it would be really weird doing that when they're talking about getting a full cavity search and falling on their knees to repent. I mean, it's not quite the slow dance song.
It's good for practice, though. If you want to practice your waltzing, you could use this one.
You could.
Do Do you have a better idea? You give me a dirty look. Do you have a better idea than doing this one?
I made a wince because my foot hurt, but no.
What else are you going to use this song for other than that? Because I can't think of anything.
I'm not using it for anything, dude. I'm not using
Nothing?
this album for anything. Maybe
mean,
kindling if I had purchased the CD or the record.
Okay, fair enough.
You're
On to
really
the next
not.
one.
You're really not giving us a lot of hope that this one redeems itself by the end of the episode.
Oh,
You
we have a
never
lot of
know
songs
out
left,
there.
Right? We have a lot of songs left. Let's see. Right?
You,
Let's see.
you just never know. But Steve, you haven't kicked one off. Talk to us about Driving in the Dark.
Okay. This one is another mid-tempo song, and I think that right off the bat, all downstroke rhythm guitar again. Even that intro thing that's like picked out here, it's like you almost hear him stutter. Like there's like a halt in the note ringing out. It's like, was that like a mistake that they were like, screw it, we'll loop it. I don't know. It just like, man, the competency of the rhythm guitar here sucks and it kills me. I also think that the vocals follow a deliberate pattern each round of the verse. And so he has like these two, we'll say like stanzas, and there's a word on every beat. And it's just like, that kind of irritates me. I alluded to it again before, but like, yeah, I didn't love this song. It's also, I think the first time when I was listening to this song in my listen through, I noticed how far the bass is pushed back, which I think is a real crime because you've got like an incredible bass player playing on this thing. And the rest of the rhythm section is like pretty new. Chris isn't very good at guitar. The drummer's fine, but he's a new member. I really felt like they could have let Evan shine a little bit more. And
Says the resident bass player.
Yeah, man, it's pretty pushed back in the mix, and that bums me out.
They were like, "Hey, man, can you just stand all the way back there, like as far? No, farther. Just keep going. Yeah, keep walking." And then they finally did it, like when he was pretty far away. Do you think there was a reason for that though? Like, do they? I guess it's just whatever sound they're going for. They didn't want to accentuate the bass.
I don't know if it was deliberate, but it does seem like his voice is way up in the mix. And I don't know why you would push the bass down. It could have been like a mixing choice. Maybe it's just like what the notes the band was when they were mixing it, like, hey, turn that down a little bit. But
that's a production thing.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Between the band and the producer, kind of like sending mix notes back and forth. I doubt it was somebody's fault, and I'm sure it was deliberate, but to me, like, he's so good. Like, bring that bass up. I want to hear it. Think about like some of their cooler songs, like Sell My Old Clothes, I'm Off to Heaven. The bass carries that song. And here they just kind of like shelve it a little bit, and that sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, like if I was playing this in my car that had the subwoofers, this would not hit like if the bass was there. So I don't have that car anymore. I actually didn't mind this song though, guys. I think that I was just attracted to the somewhat catchier chorus listening through. So this one had a little bit more of an earworm for me. I also feel like maybe this was even more Weezer-esque than the songs that I've heard prior to it. And maybe that's why I was drawn to it just a little bit more. Definitely isn't one that I would say turns the album around for sure. But something about it made it palatable, a little bit more palatable than what I've heard so far in this album, in this listen through. So, but you have to keep in mind that, you know, to this point, even though I was somewhat okay with what went wrong, the bar wasn't very high. So the fact that I say that I actually did okay with this one, that does not mean it was good by any stretch of the imagination. So that's my thoughts. Steve, what about you?
Palatable. All right. High marks, high praise. It's so, you know, there's a lot of these songs on this album just don't seem like they're like rock songs. And this one does have like a bit of a rock vibe to it. And if you kind of listen to the words, or like I read them and listened along, like the verses seem like they're trying to make a political song, but the chorus seems like it's like a love song, and I can't connect them. I tried to connect them. I'm just confused. The song structure itself seemed pretty simple to me. There wasn't a whole lot to it. Chris called it palatable. I would say it's mildly enjoyable. It's not good, but it was mildly enjoyable. That's the best I can do here.
It works.
Steve, you're the lyrics guy. Like, did you read through the lyrics on as you were listening to this?
Yeah. I have them all printed out, and I give the album a few listens, no lyrics, just to get the vibe. And anytime I'm kind of studying, or especially if it's something I don't know, and then I always print the lyrics, and then I make notes like on my printed lyrics things, so I can kind of call it back and see what he's saying. Because some bands you can't tell what they're saying unless you're actually looking at it. So I find it easier to do it on paper.
I really feel like historically their lyrics are some of my favorite. Stay What You Are is great. Through Being Cool, great lyrics. And I didn't really walk away remembering many from on this album. Just, it's kind of a crime.
I mean, yeah, I agree. And this next song, Rise, I start to think, again, I don't know how to describe it, like Stay What You Are. I just thought that like he was really good at making these metaphors to like the human body and like all these things. He's, we're going to take a jukebox and, your neck is the coin slot and, all that. I thought he was so good at doing this. And I heard a little bit. I thought I was going to hear a little bit in here. And it was just like, my veins are tangled up, tied in knots. My heart beats slowly in the song Rise. Like, come on. Like that to me is like a step down, step lost in the lyricism. I thought Stay What You Are, the lyrics were great. Through Being Cool was very young, so maybe not as grown up. Stay What You Are was just really good. This song Rise, the melody is janky. It's confusing. It does not flow. We don't get to the chorus till like halfway through the song, and then it's just bad. And it's just like repeated 3 times, and then like song's over. I couldn't find much in this one.
Go ahead, Steve.
I was just gonna say, like, the intro chords here, I think they're really cool. I think the way they are played is so bad. It's just such a common theme with all of my critiques here, and I'm really sorry. But I did say that this song kind of gave me a similar feel as like Freakish did. Worse, but similar.
Mm-hmm. Worse.
Someday we'll have Chris on the show to defend himself on the things we're saying today. Maybe he has a good explanation for you, Steve.
Not after this. He doesn't tell us to fuck off.
Maybe his finger was broken and he couldn't play, and that was the problem. That could be it. That could be it. Look, there's a lyric in here that says, "When the sky starts burning, the earth ain't moving." That reminds me of like, if the van is a rockin', don't come a knocking. That's what I think about there. I don't know. It's probably not the same thing.
Think of it more of like a sling blade. Sky stop burning, earth ain't moving.
I don't know. Does anybody even know
fried potatoes?
Such a dated reference. Are you sure people know what that is?
It's funny. The only reason why that comes to my head is I was watching a really old episode of Saturday Night Live, and they were talking about the Oscars in 1997.
Yeah, well, my comment on this song is, what the hell? No semblance of anything I'd ever want to listen to. This is just a bunch of noise kind of put together into a song, maybe? It's short. I guess that's a positive, guys, but I don't know what arena in life that I would want to put this on and listen to it again. So I'm sorry. This is not worth talking about any further. So it's
in the cleanup spot. This is number 4. They were like, guys, this is where the good stuff goes.
Yeah, this is probably his favorite song, like artistically, and we just annihilated it outside of Steve being somewhat nice at the beginning. But actually, no. Then he said he couldn't play, so a little bit of both. But yeah, I don't know. It's just really bad, and then you get to In Reverie. So just kind of moving things along. I think that so this is the titular track of the album, and I was expecting a little bit more than what I got. I think the tune on this song pretty much blows. The it just isn't good. Like there's nothing that's pleasing to my ear that I'm listening to here. It just doesn't sound like anything. The beat, I guess, is catchy at times, so great. But I feel like also like I need to be driving a Volkswagen when I listen to this song too. Like it just gives that feel of somebody that, no offense, if you drive a Volkswagen, good for you, but you need to have this song on while you're in that car because it just kind of fits.
Chris, I'm going to take you back to 2003 when this album came out, and I had a Volkswagen, and I would not
Play
want
the
to
song.
play the song in it.
Was it a Jetta?
It was a Jetta, but it had a V6, and it was a manual, and you could start that thing in third gear.
I think I've been in that car. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
It was a great car.
Maybe because you never maybe you never put this on in the car, you just didn't know.
No, I have like one album that lived in that car, and it was like the Name Taken Hold On album.
Hey, there's always an exception to the rule. You know what I mean?
Not
always
for this.
Exception.
Not for this though.
So guys, that's really all I had to say. I don't know. Like it's just bad. It's trash. Guys, where am I missing? Please talk me out of it.
Dude, you had me at this blows.
Yeah, I agree. This the intro of the song is not bad. His voice here is just so unenthusiastic and and like the music is actually okay, but I don't know, it's just boring. And another thing that bugs me is the construction of the song. It's just verse, chorus, verse, chorus, 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 2-line outro. And we're not talking about 5-minute songs here. These are short songs. Like we can be a little bit, I think we can come up with something better than that. For the titular track here. It was just boring, and the voice gets me. And I like Chris's voice on the other albums.
Yeah. It felt like it was 15 minutes long. So
bottles breaking on my face are only a reminder of how this album makes me feel. That's the opening line to the song.
Interesting.
And the joke. Laugh now. Go.
Ha ha ha.
Thank you. Okay. Morning in the Moonlight. Here we go.
Steve,
yeah.
See, you didn't have anything more to say,
Oh,
Steve?
no. I was done.
Okay.
Honestly, I don't need to belabor it. Like the things that I hate about this are things that I hate about other parts of the album where like the guitar's all downstrokes. Chris's voice is too loud in the mix. Blah, blah, blah.
All right. Proceed.
No, you know what? You proceed. Go ahead. Morning in the Moonlight, Chris.
I just started this last one, so
Can I proceed? I'm going to take this one.
This is yours.
So
Yes.
I think this one, honestly, pretty damn good. This finally feels like we get a rock track. The drums are boisterous. I like the chord turn right before the second verse. Chris's voice reminds me of when Jim Gaffigan says "Hot Pockets." Hot Pockets. Like, I hate it, but I did dig how short this track was, and I mean that's like a sincere way. Like, this is maybe the shortest song on the album. Sometimes you just need a burner. Like, this was a good rock song for this album.
At least you put that in context. To me, this sounded like a wannabe Beatles song. I did appreciate that it was, upbeat. The lyrics, again, on the whole album are just very nothing. For a minute 53, verse, chorus, chorus. It's very, very, very simplistic. I wouldn't come out and say like the song rocks, but yeah, it's a song. It's a song.
I got roasted on that one album for liking that album, but openly saying that I wasn't a big Beatles fan with that Panic at the Disco album.
No, I think you misinterpret roasting. Someone just pointed out a fun fact.
People are trying to roast. Come on, man.
There was no roast in at all.
Whatever.
It was like I think the quote was like, I feel like Chris should, if Chris liked this but says he's not a big fan of the Beatles, maybe he should give the Beatles. I think he would like them. And it was not a roast. It was
They're watching
creative.
my every step out there. That's okay. They're allowed to. This did not sound Beatles-esque to me, but I don't care if it did or not. You're not wrong. You're not right. I think actually, let's think, okay, great, guys. This is upbeat. This is fun. I'm good with that, right? Let's listen to more of this. And as you kind of get into it, it's like, wow, this is really artsy. This didn't need to be that artsy. I don't understand why they went that route. It just kind of added a bunch of stuff that just made it all like just chaotic and weird. And then it doesn't sound like a song anymore. So they took with something that could have been okay and they just jumbled it up for the sake of doing it, for the sake of being artsy, for the sake of just being complicated. I could hear that being the case. Guys, I didn't like this song as we got further into it. I think that maybe if you're a hardcore fan of this band, like if you really just wanted to like everything they do, then you could find a way to like this song because it does have some bright, shining spots. But for me, I think it just fell apart after that beginning. And it's a shame because I was planning on being into this one, but just couldn't do it.
How do you plan on being into one?
You just instantly plan. Like you make instant plans. I'm very, very quick-witted when it comes to plans.
You're like, boom, I heard the song one time, I'm going to be into it. And then you're like, nope, I can't follow through on that plan.
Exactly.
Okay.
See, you know me all too well.
I do. I know how to analyze you.
Mm-hmm.
So the next song is called Monkey. Chris, have you kicked one off in a bit?
I don't remember, but I get into this one, guys. I get into this one. It's a very simple tune. It actually, to me, has a semblance of harmony in this one, which and when I say harmony, I don't mean necessarily like a melody harmony type of thing, but like all of the things work together in a way that sounds good to me. And I don't understand what he's talking about there with the monkey will bite. Is the monkey going to bite? The monkey's bite? I don't know. Like, again, I'm not sure what that is, but I enjoyed this one mostly just because I was parched. I was just thirsty, dehydrated for some sort of musical melody, something I could just listen to that didn't make me want to just turn the song off. And this was one of the first times. I think maybe I got hints of it before, but this is the first time I could actually listen to a song on this album and think, oh, okay, I could potentially listen to this a couple more times. So there I am. That's where I'm at this. Something actually positive to say.
Nope, not for me. I found the song to be super boring. There's no drums or bass the entire first minute. What the fuck are we talking about, dude? The monkey will bite. Better eat your poultry too. There's no use. Don't try to ask a doctor what's going on inside your head. Just fall out and get in line like all good soldiers do.
It's a metaphor. It's a metaphor.
This is a metaphor for what?
Just a metaphor.
The monkey will bite. Better eat your poultry. This to me is an acid trip song. This is like he was out with Gabe Saporta at Joshua Tree tripping acid, except Gabe Saporta came up with a better band and tune. Actually, those years don't match up, but I didn't get this one at all. Not a fan.
I did jot down, so the bass takes a while to come in, but when it does, you notice it. I think anytime Evan comes in, sick bass lines. I like the chords in the verse quite a bit. I do feel like a lot of the songs on this album are just like, what if we make up some interesting chord changes? And it's just experimenting with that, and all of the strumming is the same. And it's like, okay, I guess that's a way to make an album and write songs. But that's kind of all I got. I didn't love it.
Nobody loved anything here.
We have very strong opinions on this one. We do, actually. They're all very definitive. This next one, I think that Steve, are you ready to kick one off, or did you just do that? I can't remember.
Stephen Kelly.
I'm going to take this one. Let me just make sure. This was my favorite song on the album. In my waking life, I think the lead that comes in between the intro chorus and the first verse is really sick. Um, I think the lead that comes in between the verse and what I guess is the second chorus really cool. I like Chris's falsetto a lot in this song. I think it really works. And then also like when he's not singing falsetto and they double track his voice, I think that works really well. It's the first time I noticed it on this album. Like he's doing harmonies other places, but like I really dug what they did with his voice on this song for this album. Heavy caveat.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I'll follow this one up because I totally agree with you, Steve. I like this one a lot. I thought it was a solid alternative tune, and I got a little bit of a '70s vibe on this one too, to the chorus specifically. So really cool sound. Guitar effects were I think were very good, and the drums on this one stood out. So all in all, again, really good, nice track, like really nice track. And when you compare this maybe against some other albums, maybe it doesn't. Maybe it's just mid or mediocre. But on this album, it's tops for sure.
Yeah, I felt like this was just kind of another Beatles-esque throwaway to me. I had trouble figuring out what the chorus was because there's like two different parts that repeat. So I don't know, Steve, did you say like chorus A, chorus B? I didn't know exactly what was going on here.
Yeah, I think they come in with a chorus. Like that's like the first.
Never in my
hear.
waking life. Okay, that's the chorus. But then there's also the where will we go? Will tomorrow know? And that repeats several times. So that's why I was just kind of confused. Nothing really else to add. I'm glad you guys enjoyed this one. It was fine, I guess. Fine. Yeah. Better than the next song.
Way to bring things down, Wingman.
Sorry, it's awful April. This is the time to do it.
We're trying here. You're just not letting us. But my question to you guys is: Have you ever? Do you like lullabies?
She screams in silence.
Oh my god, I would take that. I would take that song so many times over.
Come on, like we all thought that, right? We all thought that there was a outside chance that this was a cover.
Yep.
Of She, but it definitely was not. Definitely was not. What was it, guys? What was this song if not a cover of the Green Day song She?
The total opposite of that.
Yeah. It was a lullaby. It was a nice lullaby that you could if Chris sang that to you, Wingman Steve, would you fall asleep? If he came to your house and sang that to you at your bedside as you were sleeping there with your sleeping cap on, would you fall asleep?
It's funny that you have posed this question to me because my note on this song is there's only one reason to listen to this song if you're having trouble falling asleep because it's so boring.
Mm-hmm.
That's my note.
How, Chris, did you also have boring written on your notes? Because I definitely did.
No, I just my notes say not Green Day. Lullaby. Do you guys like lullabies? And give me two other applications where you would listen to this song in your life.
Man, I don't know what to do with this because like it just is really boring, and the guitar playing is like 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2. It's just monotonous. I got no enjoyment from this, and I actually in my listens through had to fast forward to see if it did anything different near the end, and I was like, oh no, same stuff. I can stop, right? Like I gave it a try.
You can skip this one.
I wonder if somebody somewhere out there in this world has the lyrics tattooed on their like inner arm somewhere.
There's got to be somebody somewhere.
If you're one of those people, reach out to us. We would like to know. She is a dying dandelion floating on the breeze, swirling sweetly in the evening. I want to see somebody with that tattoo. If you have it, let us know.
The term forever scrolling would be a good lyric for somebody these days, but it doesn't make sense in this song back then, or not in that sense. But I got a kick that could be a line for a band now. Write
Well,
that
you
down.
could scroll down
absolutely.
you could scroll like down your instant messenger though, couldn't you? Scroll down the list.
Yeah, but I mean the verb scrolling in terms of
The
the
endless
way people do
content
it
feed.
now, yeah, is
I get it.
much more intense.
I'm trying. I know you're right, but I'm trying. Okay.
Where are you?
I don't know
And
what
where
else to
am
say.
I?
After that song, like I'm speechless. I'm not sure how we finish this album after that.
We only got 3 more. I'll kick this one off. I think Where Are You? I didn't think this one was too bad comparing it to the rest of the album, except for the fact that there's no song structure and no chorus. But to me, it sounded okay to listen to. So it's something that if I was changing at Aeropostale and this came on, I would just let it be in the background. I wouldn't plug my ears, Chris.
I'm
I
sorry.
feel like
with the-
Aeropostale was very much like a train store.
Aeropostale? That was a
Yeah,
T-
you were gonna hear Train.
Oh, Train. The band. I know you
the
hate
band
Train. I know you're not a fan of Train.
Well, I mean, who you got to think about the demographic. That's like very much a VH1 artist you ought to know store.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I didn't like Train at all. I don't know. But
I feel like if you're a
think
band
you're right.
that goes on
You're
Howard
right.
Stern and you're fun, then I like you more than I would have previously. So Train can't ungo on Howard Stern and be fun. So
You like the
They-
band Fun though. That's different.
you're saying I like the band Fun?
Fun. You said it twice. I'm just assuming.
Oh no, I was talking about something else.
Oh,
Talking about Train.
you were talking about Aeropostale.
Yeah, I didn't mention Fun at all.
Is that still around? Can you still buy stuff there?
Maybe I don't go to the mall too often.
I do.
Is Aeropostale still a store?
I think it is.
I can go online and I'll go to aeropostale.com. Let's see if it exists.
Is
Did you have anything
Buckle
to say
still a
about the
store?
song?
What about Buckle? Is that still out there?
I don't know what that is.
I used to buy all my Ed Hardy shirts there.
I've never heard of
Jesus.
that.
Right.
Aeropostale.com is active. Yes, it's a store.
Actually, you know what? I never bought one Ed Hardy shirt. I did buy Affliction. I'll admit it. I liked them. What can I say? This was before they went out of control. This is before. Okay. They don't fit me anymore. But I have them. Steve, I'll show you my Affliction shirts next time I get a chance.
Okay.
When I saw the song, I thought of "Where Are You?" That was the first thing that came in my head. Otherwise, it was just basically a ballad, floaty, just a ballad, nice enough, but not anything of note. Like this one just didn't have anything of note that I could really talk about. So it was just there.
I feel like this one is the drums kind of bang on this one, and I felt like this was a rockin' tune. And I think that I said another song was the shortest song on the album. This was the shortest song on the album. The guitar was kind of sick on this one. Got some Velcro like fuzz on it, and some flanger. I was into it. I was into this song
All right. I think that
as much as you could be into a song on In Reverie.
I think
I
that
thought this
scored
was okay.
some relatively high praise considering everything that's preceded it.
Do you think this song is very similar to what we've heard up to this point, though? Like, it seem like it's kind of they're just basically reusing a lot of the same recipes with these songs, and this one kind of fits into that.
I do think that's the problem with the way he plays guitar, is that a lot of them end up sounding similar or the same, because you have the same like 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 strum on guitar. Like it's hard to pick out and say like, oh yeah, that's this song or that's that song. I have trouble with it anyways.
How about this? How about this Wednesday the 3rd song?
How about it? How about it, guys? Wednesday the 3rd.
Kick us off.
So I will provide some positive, and I will say that I like how it kind of sounds like the verses are just one big run-on sentence. I thought that was interesting. The chorus I did not find fun, and I have no fucking idea what he's talking about in the lyrics. And that's all I got. Sorry, not too deep. Not too deep. Shallow.
I haven't been gone deep the whole time. I've been very shallow. I've been like basically floating on the top of the water because that's all I'm going to give you here. I have a pros and cons list similar to you. So for me, the pros is I think we're very similar on this actually, Steve. I like the no pause lyrics. I always like that. So good for them for bringing that into this. I haven't heard that so far in this album, so hooray. I like the a little bit of a darker sound, a little bit darker sound, a little bit more of a little bit heavier. I would say heavy's not the right word, but you know what I mean, right?
It sounds grim.
Yeah, I don't mind that because I didn't hear that so far once again, and I always am here for the start and stop guitar riffs. So if you know what I'm talking about, it's in there, and I like that. But the cons in this one is, I think this song is still very boring. Boring as hell is what I've written down. Too long. It drags and drags and drags. And the third con is once again just too long, just too long. If they would have just shortened this one up, I probably would have been more of a fan. But that's where I'm at.
I like that it's in 6/8. I do like the falsetto that's in here again. I think that really works for Chris's voice better than the natural sounding vocals that he's got going on. But like, I'm into the falsetto. I think it's a better use of his voice. You guys mentioned how like the vocals string together. It drives me a little bit nuts because they're all like there's a syllable on every beat, and it drives me a little crazy.
Too
You don't
cookie
like
cutter.
that
Yeah, I do not like it.
on any album or just this one?
It's used so often here that I struggle with it.
I'll have to go back and listen again because I didn't hear it that often. I probably just missed it. So
I think I
don't
like
know.
a counter melody or like a counter rhythm on a vocal pattern to what the music is doing. And I very much imagine that he's playing rhythm guitar, and it's probably easier to sing and play the guitar if you're doing the same thing, uh, moving those things in tandem. But
Probably.
it's not that interesting.
Well,
Okay.
there's one good thing about this last song, and that it's the last song on the album. Tomorrow, too late.
Too late, guys. We've already listened to this, so we can't go back in time and not listen to it. I will be very short to the point. Even when this song kicks in, so this song, I guess, has a point. And this is my note from a couple days back because I didn't listen to the song twice. Well, I listened to it twice, but I listened to it again today. Even when the song kicks in, it still sucks. So I figured, like a lot of times, I say to myself, wow, okay, this song sucks, but when it starts to get kind of upbeat and you get a little bit more guitar in there, I can see where it redeems itself. Not here, guys. Not here. It just continues to get worse and worse. So I don't like this song at all, and it is definitely in on brand with my thoughts on this album overall.
Yeah, the boring is really strong with this song. It's a snooze fest. It does pick up a little bit after the first two verses you mentioned, but it's just another song with just little to no appeal. Nope, no good. No good.
Bad.
I like the part before verse 2 where there's like some swells and whale noises. I thought that was cool. There was kind of like a groove to this song that I was into, and then I felt like there was a hint of emotion in the chorus, like just a little bit, that I hadn't heard all album long, and then he just a taste of emotion, and then backs it away. But yeah, there are also parts of the song that I hate, like he does the vocal contour and matches on the "I Need You Now" and "I Held You All Through the Night." Like it's just like it follows the guitar pattern, and I hate that. And we really haven't progressed past that stuff. Um, and I've been complaining about it all album long, but those really are like the main reasons why I like wouldn't go back and listen to this again.
Well, that's it. We got through it.
Could you imagine if this album was like an hour and 15 minutes long or something like that? How would we do that? How would we be able to do that?
We are professionals, so we would figure out a way, but it would be very difficult. That's why I said at the beginning of this episode, I said Awful April is just exhausting. Maybe it was just because of this album. I found a couple of songs that were fine on Panic at the Disco. I found a couple of songs that were fine on Good Charlotte, but this one I couldn't find them. I was exhausted. I was hurting.
I know I disagree with you, and I go back and I regret that because of what we just went through. So I don't know. You're probably
We're gonna have a group therapy session, PTSD, like tomorrow.
Go ahead, Steve.
I just wanted to ask, like, did you guys listen to any of the Save the Day albums that came out after this?
This pretty much just turned me off to Saves the Day. No, I did not.
No, I did not.
This was a dagger for me, man. I tried to go back and listen to Sound the Alarm or Daybreak, one of those two after, and like his voice comes back a little bit, like you get a little bit more frenetic energy from him, but this kind of killed the band for me. Like this was it, man. I was like
100%. And I've only seen this band since, like, after this, I've only seen them do when they toured on Through Being Cool or Stay What You Are. Like I'll go see them as like a nostalgia act, or when they're doing a full record or something like that. But yeah, it killed it. Even more, again, going back to the other two, Panic at the Disco, I listened to some of their singles, not so much in deep after Pretty Odd. Good Charlotte, I took a big pause, but then I got back in a little bit to some of their later stuff, and their most recent record I found decent. But this one, this was it. This was a nail in a coffin for a band that had, to me, two really good albums. Through Being Cool is that classic high school pop punk album, and then Stay What You Are is the, hey, we're growing up and we're doing some really cool weird emo indie stuff, and it worked so well. And then done.
even Can't Slow Down was like a great punk album, and this was just absolutely a career killer. Like, and I thought just this band could do no wrong. Like, Through Being Cool was unbelievable. I remember when those two singles, Sell My Old Clothes, I'm Off to Heaven, and Dragon D Flat came out on like the Vagrant compilation. They were the best songs on that comp by far. Like, and then Stay What You Are came out, super different, but amazing. And this was just like, this isn't the same band anymore. And I guess I'm done. Like,
no, thank you. Do you, but no, thank you.
But then that said, we started this conversation off by talking about the fact that it definitely got decent reviews. Like, it didn't get stellar reviews, but it got decent reviews. Were those just super fans of the band that just wanted to say that it was good? It wasn't all right. I mean, there was some media outlets that gave it higher than average ratings. So, was this a career killer, or did this album actually not do as bad as we think? Just our opinions.
I don't think Saves the Day was on the trajectory for stardom. They weren't going to become Fall Out Boy or Blink or even Newfound Glory. They were a regional band that got a nationwide following through touring and, good lyrics, a couple good albums. And I think that this, I don't know, people did like it. I started this off and said, I don't know anybody personally, like in real life, not internet, but in real life, I don't know anybody that likes this album at all. But there are those people out there, so more power to them.
It's just crazy to me that like this came out in 2003 at the cusp of the pop punk explosion, and they kind of took that sound and they were like, fuck it, we are gonna go try to sound like the Strokes or something. I don't know what this is, but it is so not. I don't know. Like, it's a bad attempt at like indie rock.
Not good. That's what you're looking for.
Not good, right? Not good. Like a not good Weezer. But I think that, guys, we did it. Here's a game. What do you think on my Spotify played? What song played as soon as this album concluded? Do you have a guess?
Hash Pipe.
Incorrect.
Oh man, it just I don't know if it would have been the same one that I have no idea, Chris.
It was Sic Transit Gloria.
Oh.
Wow.
And I was like, that was the best part of the album for me when that came on.
Is when you accidentally got to hear Sic Transit Gloria afterwards.
Ding, 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 ding. Like
Man,
that started.
another-
All right, yeah.
2003 album where a band took a complete left turn but pulled it off so much better.
Oh, man.
Absolutely.
1,000,000%. This album sounds like it would be like it should have come out in what, like 2008 or like closer to the end of the decade, just because then they could have tried something different. But guys, just stick to just you should just stick to it. It was good. I don't know, whatever. Hindsight's 2020. But that brings us to the point in the show, ladies and gentlemen, that you've all been waiting for, that I've been waiting for, that we alluded to ever so slightly at the beginning of the show, and that's the segment we call Ranking It. For Awful April, this is Bizarro Land. This is reverse ranking it, guys. And that doesn't mean we're going 1, 2, 3. That means instead of going our top 3 favorite tracks, we're gonna rank our bottom 3 favorite tracks off this album. We're gonna go all in. We're gonna talk about the worst of the worst. What's just were the dregs that we would never listen to again on this album. So, as we normally do with the guests, Steve, you are up first. So give us your bottom 3 on the album in Reverie.
I can't wait to find out if we all have. I don't think we're gonna have matching lists based on what we just talked about, but we'll see. The nadir might be the same. Okay, so in what would I call this order? We're gonna go from least. We're going to worst. 1 will be worst. So 3 is
From the third worst to the worst.
yeah. Thank you,
correct.
thank you for the assist there, man. Okay. Wednesday the 3rd, Driving in the Dark, and She.
Can't complain with any of that.
Do I have to dig in and explain why?
No.
Like,
Nope, you
these are
don't.
all just bad songs.
Nope, you do.
She was the
not.
worst.
Who's next,
Yeah.
Chris?
You're next. I'll be last on this one.
All right, I'm gonna go. Acid Trip song "Monkey" is number 3. Complete janky music song that doesn't flow at all. "Rise" is number 2, and "Put Me to Fucking Sleep." She is number 1. I agree with Steve.
Okay, here we are. Mine is Rise at number 3. Once again, what the hell are they doing here? Number 2, Where Are You? Just not enjoyable at all. And then number 1 is She. It just is.
She should be screaming in silence
It
because it's
just
bad.
is, guys. It just is. It's I don't know what to do with this one. I tried.
Just turn
You
it
can't
off.
you can't call a song She and then just like not even try. Like they didn't even try.
Maybe they never listened to Green Day. Maybe they don't know what that is.
This was almost 10 years after Dookie. I mean, oh man.
They probably weren't even born yet.
I don't know. But so there's always this question towards the end where I say, did listening to this album change our initial thoughts on it from back in the day? Or if you didn't listen to it back in the day, did listening to it a few times change your mind? This is the most awful of the awful albums in April so far for me. Listening to this multiple times only exhausted and hurt my mind, body, and soul. So no, it didn't for me.
Steve?
I feel more confident in my assessment of like why I didn't like this when I first had a listen and was like, I don't like it. You know, I don't think that at that time I was able to pinpoint like maybe I did think like, oh, Chris's voice has changed and I don't like this. What I took away from it this listen was more like, oh, musically they are trying to do some interesting things. This isn't like completely without merit. But I don't need to go listen to this album again.
Ever.
Maybe ever. It's not it's not great. It's a sad representation of Saves the Day.
Yeah. And look, I'll say it once, I'll say it again. They, to me, should not have tried to make it interesting. They should have kept it simple. They should have stuck to what they know and what they're good at, and just made more music of that, because that's what most people wanted to hear. And ultimately, again, as an artist, if that's what you excel at, you can make that sound different and still do a similar thing, and you can still flex your creative muscles in a good way. So why they went away from that, I'll never know. But unfortunately, this just did not hit in any way, shape, or form. So even though I didn't listen to it back then, I certainly won't listen to it now. There were a couple songs that grew on me, guys, but it just wasn't quite enough. This was not a good experience. And yes, this was even though, so Steve Kelly, you said that I was trolling a bit during the Panic at the Disco album.
I did.
I was not. Like, I truly did believe, and I was being honest about how I felt about those tracks. I cannot be honest about being positive. I mean, I was totally honest here, but I couldn't even fake to be honest here. If you thought I was trolling, you now know that I wasn't, because I was being 100% honest, because I couldn't even fake it here. This was that bad. So
It's true. And before we wrap up here, Chris, I would like to ask your permission to pull a little hard left and put a positive spin on Awful April. Would you be okay with something out of the back pocket here?
I don't know what you're doing.
I want to listen to a good song, because I'm really excited that my buddy Steve Kelly and Justin Stewart and their band, they just put out their first full-length album, and our episode is a little bit shorter than they normally are. I think we should play one of their kick-ass songs right before we wrap up. Since we talked all nonsense on this bad album, let's listen to a good song. Is that okay with you?
You never have to talk me into listening to anything that Steve Kelly produces, so let's do it.
So Steve, and you didn't know, I didn't know that we were going to do this, but
no idea.
I've had this track stuck in my head since you guys released it, and we fully intend to sit you down and talk to you and Stu about this album and play some more songs. But let's put a positive spin on Awful April and play something not awful. Can I choose a song, or do you want to choose a song?
Dude, be my guest.
Okay, Port Maria just put out their debut full-length record, which is called Co-Conspirators, and he will tell you where you can listen to it. But let's listen to this song, which has been stuck in my fucking head since it's been released. It is called Clinic After Hours. I fully enjoy it. We'll have him give a quick something about it afterwards, but here it is.
Trouble as soon as we filled up, merge onto the highway.
That's my new road trip song, by the way, Steve. It's my new road trip song.
Man, I'm so psyched.
So good. So good. Chris, have you heard that one before?
I haven't. So I was pleasantly not surprised. Surprised is the wrong word, but outstanding track, guys. It's definitely on par with what my expectations would be for a Port Maria album. So bravo, great job, and I can't wait to hear more.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Steve.
Well, Steve, tell people, again, the album name, where they can listen to it and follow you on the thingamajiggers. And we will, we'll sit down and talk about it in more detail coming up soon on High School Never Ends.
Yeah, the album is called Co-Conspirators. It came out, I don't know, at some point, some time ago. I'm not sure when this airs, but you can find it on all of the streaming services. Do us a solid and listen to a couple tracks. And you can follow us at Port Maria Band on Instagram. And that's probably the right place to follow us. Thanks.
Awesome. All right. Well, that's this Awful April episode, right, Chris? We did it.
That's a wrap. I can't wait to do more Awful April, Steve. We're not completely done yet, are we?
Uno mas album terrible coming up.
This has got to be a good one. So I know you guys are just chomping at the bit, wanting to know what it is, but we're not going to tell you because we want you to be surprised. I honestly really, really am enjoying this series. And again, if you guys like it, let us know. As per usual, the best way to do that is via the socials. I'll tell you what, though, before I get into the outro, I just want to thank Steve Kelly for coming on. High School Never Ends. It's always a pleasure to have you on. We appreciate you letting us play your song. And as always, you added some great insight into what was an otherwise not so great album.
Guys, thank you so much for having me. You are always the best hosts, and I can't wait to see what's next for Awful April.
Yeah, and hopefully you guys out there feel the same way. We want to tell you. We also want to know what you think about the show, right? So let us know via the socials. You can find links to all of our social media outlets at our hub. It's www.hsnepod.com. That links to Facebook, X, Twitter is X, whatever, right? But most importantly, our Discord server where you can chat with us. Let us know directly what you liked, what you didn't, and what you want to call me out on specifically, like whether or not I like the Beatles and whether or not I like that Panic at the Disco album.
Yes, that is a great place, Discord server. Steve Kelly, I think there's a question for you pending there. So why don't you go on and answer it? And if you liked our episode, you like our show, give us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or whatever platform that you're listening to us on. I think we're on Podbean and some other crazy things. Wherever the podcasts are, give us the 5 stars, please. And buy yourself a High School Never Ends hat or a t-shirt or a mug. It's a big mug. You can put a lot of coffee or tea or Baileys or whatever you want inside that mug. Everything that you buy helps support our show and the Dragon Wagon Independent Podcast Network. Chris said it. We're going to be back next week with one more episode of Awful April. What awful album will we choose? Until then, keep on rocking your dad bods, throw up your rock hands, and blast the pop punk.
Hey, my name's Zen Zenith, and if you've ever wanted to hear intimate conversations and performances from amazing musicians such as Tony Thaxton from Motion City Soundtrack, Dressage, or Field Medic, I've got the podcast for you. Check out The House Show with Zen Zenith on Dragon Wagon Radio. The House Show is a concert series wrapped up in the context of a house show in front of a real live audience that we then turn into a podcast for you. You can find it on Dragon Wagon Radio or wherever else good podcasts are found. Check it out and we'll see you there.
It's Dragon Wagon.